Sensors can be used to monitor different parameters within the assembly as well as component environments. If I right-click into the Sensors folder, say Add Sensor, I have quite a few options. I'll go ahead and start with mass and click OK. And this is going to give me a sensor for the mass of the entire assembly. So if I were to hide this out and make a modification to one of these gears, let's say by adding an extruded cut, then that sensor is going to update within the assembly. And I can also set a parameter for it to alert me to. If the mass is greater than, let's say, 15 pounds, it's going to set an alert. Now if I go back into that gear and quickly create a pattern, it'll drop below that weight and that alert will go away. So I'll go ahead and go through the other parameters that you can set for the sensors, and for each one of them you can set an alert. If you don't want the mass to be above a certain quantity, you can set that as the alert. In this case we could even set it as less than. If we need to stay at an exact mass, we can set that as well, and any of the other options as well. Within the mass properties, we can also select the volume, the surface area, or any of the centers of mass as a parameter to monitor. We can also look at simulation data if we want to see stress or any other parameter, and also want to set a factor of safety, we can do that as well. In this case, I can be notified if my factor of safety is lower than a certain value, 2 for example. I can also monitor dimension values. If I had dimensions showing, I could select one out, also set an alert, or just see how that dimension changes. We can use interference detection if we want to make sure that two components aren't colliding or several components aren't colliding. We can do that as well. This one you just want to be sure that you're only selecting the components that you want to measure. If you select out too many components, you might slow down your assembly significantly. We can also choose a measurement. If I measure out a distance in here, for example, I can save out that measurement, and we can monitor that as well as setting a proximity sensor. So if we don't want a certain component getting too close to another, for example, if we didn't want this gear getting too close to the edge of the gearbox, we can set a proximity parameter as well. But that's how you use these sensors, and they can allow you to quickly monitor various parameters within both the assembly and the part environment.